Hi everyone, it's Magpie Girl here. I'm joined by Laurie Holden, and today we've got a really special interview with the VFL coach of Collingwood, Dale Tapping. Hi Dale, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How you going, guys?
Really good, yeah. So just really happy to have a bit of a chat with you about the VFL, which is going really well this year. You must be pretty excited by them going into finals.
Yeah, we certainly are. We're sort of the third year in a row now we've been able to sort of get our VFL program into the final, so which is rewarding and pleasing. So hopefully we can go. Looking forward to obviously playing Port Melbourne firstly this week, then going a bit deeper into the finals. It's a really even competition, and we've been pretty competitive with all the teams this year, and our best form's been pretty good. So we've got a little bit of confidence that we can do some damage in the finals, hopefully.
How much does the improvement in the VFL affect or roll on to an improvement in the AFL?
I think it's pretty significant. If you look at recent experiences, and just go on the evidence of other clubs, and look at Geelong early 2000s, sort of 2002, 2007 grand finals. I think if you go through that VFL premiership in 2002, there was about five or six guys that played in that 2007 first grand final for Geelong. And I think they were Ablett, Bartel, Chapman, Johnson, and there'll be a few others that I've just forgotten to mention, but the players of that sort of ilk. So, and you've seen sort of Footscray winning the VFL last year, and just the boys that have been able to continue to develop their game, and now are playing sort of pretty steady and regular AFL football, and having a real influence at senior level. So there's enough around that suggests that it's pretty important to have learning how to have a little bit of success, and because it's such a competitive environment, both AFL and VFL. If you can get a large number of your group coming through together, it can only be an advantage, I would have thought.
It must be a bit frustrating, having said what you've just said, that with injuries and what have you, the players have been coming in and out so much that they're not really playing as a group either in the VFL or in the AFL.
Mm. Yeah, I think I know with particularly the VFL, like the environment that we're or even for the AFL, just the environment that we're trying to create. Look, every team's going to get injuries or unavailability, and there's always going to be players that go up. It's best. I think the teams that have been able to manage that and create a really strong environment, particularly around the development and learning, which we've tried to create, is sort of stood us in pretty good stead the last few years. So we've had a number of guys that have gone up and debuted and continued to play and progress into good AFL players. So now we've sort of got another group coming through with the sort of more Marsh, Maynard, Pigoe, Cox. There's a number of others that are starting to sort of really build their profile as players. So I think we've been able to manage that and create a pretty holistic environment. With the VFL at the same time, remain really competitive and play good team footy, and I think our VFL boys have played a part in that too. Like I think our VFL listed players have really improved over the last few years, and we've had a pretty steady core group of players that have stayed the course and stayed with the program, and now they're really getting some getting up to 40, 50 games at VFL level, which is pretty significant, and they're starting to come through together. So they sort of really hold it together pretty well. So the connection between the AFL and the AFL boys and the VFL boys has been really strong. Not only this year, but I think it's been built upon this year. But I think it's been in place for a couple of years. It's something that I know myself really was really strong about promoting when I first took over the role.
Are you sort of required to basically follow the same game plan as they do for the AFL?
Yeah, pretty much. What we play. We have very similar. We train. We all train together. So we sort of we attempt to play the same way. And there might be some subtle changes on the day or in the moment of games, but for the most part we're pretty strong around how we play as a whole footy club. So we certainly promote that amongst our VFL program. So it's pretty consistent messages.
Dale, just a quick one, leading into the finals. The last 2 years, obviously, you've taken us to 2 elimination finals and we've lost both.
Yep.
Do you think we can improve on that this year, given the limited injuries in the AFL team? And also, as a separate question, how's selection going to look coming into those finals with the AFL listed players possibly being ready in the second week of the finals?
Yeah. Well, I think we're, obviously there's some eligibility criteria that there's a certain number of games that you need to play, and there's a certain number of games that you can't play above. I think it's 12. I think of AFL footy. So guys, just off the top of my head, but guys like Jonathan Marsh, Braden Maynard, Darcy Moore, I think maybe Ben Sinclair, I think is available to play.
Matt
Scharenberg, definitely. Maybe even Ben Reid. So there's a number of guys that obviously will be available. There's 5 guys on our list that have been put out for the rest of the year. But just through injury, so they just won't get themselves ready. Just won't be fit enough to play. So but we're in reasonable shape, physically at the moment. So look, that'll sort of sort itself out over the next couple of weeks. But look, I think like last year that the Sandringham final, like we were really sort of cut short that game. If we had got through that game, I think Sandy beat us by about 4 goals. We knew we had a number of guys available the following week. We just had to sort of make it to that following week. We had, if you can remember, we had a significant injury list, and I think in that VFL final we played. I think it was 5 of them all up. 5 either first or second gamers playing their first VFL game. So 3 of them played their first game in a final. So which is pretty rare. And we're pretty competitive on the day, but we just sort of couldn't get across the line. Like Sandy got us by about 22 points. So I think we'll be in a little bit better shape this year. So let's hope so. But at the moment the way it sits, I think we're sort of shaping up okay.
Touching on the VFL listed players, obviously there's been a couple of new recruits this year that have come in, VFL listed, of course. Who do you feel has been the most impressive of those?
I think they've all continued to really develop individually their own games. They've all got a little bit more. Like Jack Halley now's past 50 games. Like his leadership has really grown. Like he started off in 2013 as a co-captain. Look, we're really, really young. We still are a youngish group. Like Jack's our oldest player. He's just turned 27 last week. So when he took that role over, look, he was 24, and he was co-captain just to share the load. Now, the last couple of years, he's individually sort of taken it upon himself, and he's really grown with that role. And I think his football has actually got better. He's just really matured into a really good state league level player, and he's got past 50 games. Obviously, Ben Maloney has been a terrific player since we got him across from Werribee. Just really matured. He got past 50 this year. His numbers are exceptional for VFL football. They stack up really well with some of the best midfielders in the comp, and his GPS stuff is up there with with some of our AFL boys in Crisp and Sidebottom who run as well as anyone on our AFL list. So he's been really good. That Michael Still early in the year, kicked 17 goals in 6 games. Unfortunately, did his hamstring, but there may be some good news in the next week or two. Like he's going to be pushing himself up to play. He's nearly he'll be back, he's back in full training now, so he's not too far away. It's just a matter of sort of trying to get him a game. I think Lockie Wallace has been around the program since 2012. There's Nick Gray, who got from Mansfield. Gus Borthwick this year, young kid from Melbourne Grammar. Rupert Wills early in the season, really progressive, is really exciting talent. So I think we've got a really, Ned McEwen has played a couple of games at 23rd, has got some real talent. Just needs to get a bit fitter and just a little bit of maturity around his footy, but potentially could be an excellent player. So there's a lot to like around our VFL boys.
You must be pretty excited by the supporter interest in it. It's great to see such big crowds down at.
Yeah, that's the thing that's really like Vic Park. It's I know the boys really enjoy playing there, and the support's been amazing. We're getting great crowds, and I think even the Richmond game last week we were 10:30 game before the AFL, and we're still getting a couple of thousand at the game, and I'm sure if it was if the AFL boys had been playing the next day or had played the Friday night, that number would have doubled easily.
Yeah.
So I think the Box Hill game, I think someone said it was about 4,500 there. So the crowds have been great, and it's actually a really good atmosphere. It's the atmosphere is fantastic, and the support and the interest has been good, and I know the guys really appreciate it. And I think our record since about 2013, I think we've only lost a handful of games there. So it's been it's just a great place to play, and it's great for spectators. Firstly, they don't have to pay to get in, and it's a real relaxed sort of atmosphere. But at the same time, it's it sort of generates a fair bit of noise, and people are getting right behind it. So that's been really enjoyable. For all of us to be part of, it's been really exciting.
Did you enjoy doing the curtain raiser at the MCG?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it was. It would have been. Yeah, we did. Like, it was obviously great to play and we spoke about that, like the opportunity to play before, particularly Carlton. I suppose I think it was on at. We started the game. I think it was about 10:15.
Yeah,
and obviously there's a little bit of pre-game stuff that, obviously the AFL need to get through. But if you're going to do it again, you still got probably 30 minutes up your sleeve. Like, you could start that at 10:45, and it just gives you could run that in pretty close to the AFL, into the AFL game, and just gives people a bit more of an opportunity to get to the game and a little bit more crowd support. I think in the last quarter there was a reasonable crowd there, but 10:15 starts. It was pretty early, but look, besides that, it was really exciting to play, and it was a good day, and against the old enemy in Carlton, and both teams had a win, which was probably more important.
Yes, yeah.
Dale, looking at some of the AFL new recruits in Big Cox and the Big Show Abbott, and also a couple of younger guys that we've got kicking around in Goodyear and Manteet. How have you seen their development?
I think they've all they're all becoming used to being full-time footballers and full-time environment. Particularly the younger boys in Matty Goodyear and Michael Manteet have really, I think they've got better as the years gone on. Like Michael Manteet, I think, has really improved his generally how he goes and his approach, how he approaches each game. Like, obviously new to him at the start of the year, but he's really works really hard during the week and sets himself up to play really well. And he's improved some areas of his game that we identified in the first part of the season, and he's been a really good contributor for us. Defensively, he works really hard, like a lot of off-ball stuff that a lot of people may not sort of really notice. And he's starting to give a little bit more of the ball offensively too, which is something we've been working on. So he's getting a better balance to his game. Matty Goodyear, we've just been trying to identify what probably the best spot is for him. Like last week we played him as a mid, and he had 24 disposals, and probably statistically it was his best game. He's got really good ability in tight. Just needs to continue to develop, and just when he gets into space and just his ball use just needs to keep improving, which I think it will. He just got to just be a little bit more composed when he gets into those parts of the field. But his in tight stuff and his contested stuff's very good. Brendan Abbott was really impressive early in the season, and unfortunately did his shoulder. Like he had a couple of really good games, and he was really impressive. Wherever he came, he kicked 4 1/4, 6 for the game, and certainly showed his talent. He's had his shoulder done, so he's now getting going with his rehab. I think the big thing for him being that sort of third forward, like just improving his fitness base. He's got some real freakish talent. Beautiful kick of the ball, finishes really well, really powerful. Pretty tough type player. Just needs to just add that aerobic capacity to his game. It's something that sort of spoke to him about, and we'll continue to work on that. He's got some challenges now, just getting his shoulder right. But he's certainly got some upside if he can get those parts of his game, in order. Mason Cox is obviously pretty exciting. 2'11", first year in the game, and kicked 5 goals last week against Richmond, and probably had opportunities to kick 7. So he's made some amazing developments this year, and he's spending a little bit more time forward because we've had Jared Witts back. So that's even added to his game, his ability to ruck and go forward is just see how dangerous he is, and his ability to kick the ball. I think he's probably kicking it better than some of the boys that have grown up with the game, to be perfectly honest. So he's been a real find, and I think he can develop into a serious player, and I think I'm pretty confident he's going to make it, and I think he'll be a real threat at AFL level in time. So, but he's for his first year into the game to do what he's doing is it's pretty special stuff. So
absolutely,
it's pretty exciting. So who knows? It could be an opportunity in the next couple of weeks. So that'd be even better.
Good to have someone kicking goals.
Yes, yeah. Well, he didn't miss too many in the weekend. I think he missed 2-1, but he's kicking. He's kicking for a guy that's new to the game. Like if you look at the guys that have come from other codes or from other parts of the world, like their kicking technique is generally the one that looks a bit awkward. Like you look at Mike Pike from the Swans, he's done a remarkable job himself, but he's still got that awkward kicking style. Mason hasn't got that. He's he's got a nice, quiet, tight technique when he kicks the ball, and generally makes really good decisions around the ball. So he's doing a great job. He's doing really, really well, and he's holding up physically. It's he's been going since October last year, and he's sort of the finishing line's not too far away, but he's going to charge through the finishing line for the end of this season. So it's he's been really impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any say in the selection of the AFL team or input into the game plan? I sit on Matt's committee, so obviously I feed in the VFL report and give feedback on how the VFL players are going, and sort of do a report each week and present that to Matt's committee, and obviously part of a lot of the discussion and a lot of debate around who comes in and who goes out.
So which is good exposure, good experience to be part of that.
Mm.
What's your take on the recent AFL form, Dale?
Obviously last week was disappointing. To lose any game, by that margin's disappointing, and sort of we reviewed that pretty strongly yesterday. So I'd be confident enough that there'd be greater consistency with our effort, which I think that's the thing. I think our effort's been quite good, right through the year. Obviously on the weekend it wasn't where it should be, and you don't want to be playing like that too often, because that makes it hard for everyone. So certainly look forward to the response on Friday night against the Cats. But I think overall, our last sort of 6 or 7 weeks, we've been mighty competitive, and just the ability to just sort of take those opportunities when they come in games, and we just haven't been able to do that. So that's something that we need to continue to keep sort of drilling down on and keep getting better. And I think the positive is that the younger guys in the team are getting exposed to they're learning on the job, and they're getting real life in the moment sort of learning opportunities in games. So I think it's going to be pretty exciting sort of going forward with these boys. So because I think a lot of them will come through together. So I think the long-term future's bright. But obviously the immediate in the moment as we speak today, you still want to try to win as many games as you can, and I think that's the frustrating thing. Look, everyone can see we've been pretty close, and particularly the Hawthorn Fremantle, probably more so the Hawthorn game. That was probably the one that we probably should have won. Just our ability to finish and not take our opportunities, and particularly against a team like the Hawks, you got to seize every moment, because they certainly take theirs when they get theirs. So it's certainly been frustrating, but at the same time, just level of patience and just keep working with the group and for us.
What's considered a pass mark for the year for both the AFL and the VFL team?
I think each year you want to be playing finals football. That's what we play. Everyone starts off wanting to play finals footy, and and that's where we want to be able to get to. But I think the 18 teams have got that aim, and I think what we've been able to do is introduce a lot of really good young players into AFL footy. Sort of coming through together. They're developing their own game individually. They're building really good relationships, so they're getting to know each other, on and off the field. So I think that side of it's they're things that you can't really see externally. You sort of see that. You see the individuals sort of grow and develop, internally sort of through the week, and just how they go about their football and their own preparation. So you can just see them getting better with that side of it and understanding what it takes. So that's been a pleasing part. And I think with our VFL program, it's really about getting our VFL boys and our AFL listed boys, the opportunity to keep improving their football. Having players AFL ready, which we've been able to get. I think about 5, have debuted this year, which is a good sign. And at the same time remain highly competitive. So I think they're the sort of KPIs that you're looking at around your program.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Well, Dale, we might have to let you go. MG, any thoughts for the remainder of the year?
Everybody wishes you the greatest success in the final series, and I'm sure there'll be huge crowds wherever you're playing to cheer you all on. It's fantastic.
No worries.
Thanks very much for your time today. It's just
absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Dale. Yeah, really appreciated your insight, and it's been great chatting.
Yeah, well, good luck with it all.
Thank you. And let's do well this week.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, guys.
See you later.
Thank you.